Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Rival Esports. We've got the Spring Open Finals taking place. 4 invited teams going up against 8 teams that have qualified through 2 nights of qualifiers. It was Monday night with like the open qualifiers, and then we had Friday night, which I opened up, of course, alongside Corelli, and we showed to the world these little bubble teams had to break from that top 16 to 8 for a Swiss bracket. Don't see that too often in Rocket League. And then come on through to here, to tonight, where we're going to have 12 teams fighting for a slice of that tasty $1,000 pie. I'm Digital Bacon, and tonight I'm joined by none other than Mr. Announcer Man himself. It's Stacks. How are you doing there, my dude?
I am doing fantastic, Digital. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, and that's it. The announcer voice just comes straight into action.
Yeah,
Love it,
right.
Stacks.
Yeah, just I'm doing great. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those days. But you know, it's been a fun event getting to this point. A lot of teams that maybe you're not too familiar with in the public eye. If you've been following the community scene, you've probably seen a couple of these teams a time or two. But now they really get to play on a bigger stage, and they've got a real challenge waiting for them, especially after they get through this first round.
That's it, because the 4 invited teams have been seeded, and then on top of that, we have got the qualified teams seeded going on through. So you've got your, teams like Splice here as well. But you're talking about these sort of like unheard names. We have got 186,282 miles per hour, and that's just the speed of light for you non-nerdy types at home. They're a team that's sort of come on.
Yeah, I know somebody is going to correct you in Twitch chat, so we'll just get it out of the way now. It's per second, Bacon. It is miles per second. Details, they are important.
Look, I only got a C in physics in school, okay? I didn't do that well. Okay?
Better than me.
But yeah, this is a team, we know Wallados from that Mirage Ghost side, but the other 2 sort of like coming them through Oreo, Titan, and Perma, they've been around there, they've been in the community stuff, but here, this is a big prize pool that they're going to be fighting towards. And really, Stacks, for me, these are the teams that are going to be grinding it out for those 4 slots in the RL, RS next season. So like getting it in early, try and form these teams so sort of early, 3 months in advance is going to be what separates the men from the kids here, where they know they've got to put that work in, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. That's really what the Iris / Muffin Men / now Cloud9 team did when they knew that, look, we've got to get this grind going early if we're going to have a shot at making it into the RLCS. And now, of course, it's a much tougher task just to reach the RLCS, because you not only have to go through that open qualifier, but then you have to go through the rival series. And, that can be a real grinder for, the 8 teams that get into that level. Only 2 get a shot at the RLCS from there. So, the more experience you can get as a team, the better, especially because at this level now, we're seeing you take any group of equally skilled players and just give them that time together to develop team chemistry. That is invaluable, and it gives them a leg up over everybody else who might be, going off to play Fortnite or CSGO or whatever else they do in their spare time. So I think we're seeing now that hard work is being rewarded over time. This is going to be invaluable experience for these teams.
Yep, especially since I'm just going to start getting on into our first game here. Stats, we're going to be seeing Jimmers, not Jimmers versus Melon. What am I saying? That's another game going on. We've got Zaboomafoo going up against the Lights Out. Now, we by now know these 2 teams. On Zaboomafoo, you're going to be seeing Austin, T. Corral, and Explosive Gyro. On Lights Out, we've got Nomad, Aeon, and Laz. These are 2 teams we know have stuck together. Okay, with Lights Out, you've got Laz instead of the old Toe the Great, and I do miss Toe, but Laz, on Friday night, Stacks, he was popping off, and these teams, they know they've got to keep grinding. They missed out on their opportunities the last RORS, and now they know they've got to stick together, start grinding it on out, and it's going to be the best result for them going forward.
Yeah, and Lights Out is a team that I've really been a fan of watching them for the past really year, it seems. And it always seemed like they were the best team to never win anything. They would always get to the finals, that they just could not get over the hump. And then they finally have that result. They win the Primal League, and now moving forward They've got a great shot here against first this Zaboomafoo team. And I got to say, of the 4 invited teams you could get, I don't know. I look at getting a team like Ghost, it's like, you could do worse. You could have a much worse matchup than Ghost waiting for you in the second round. Would not surprise me at all if Lights Out are able to make a run here. And now that they've got some solid results under their belt, they've got, like I said, as good a chance as anybody.
Yep, definitely. Ghosts, they're feeling like they're in a little bit of a slump. They've lost a bit of confidence in themselves after previous sort of results. And then on Lights Out, they came runners up last month in the Proving Grounds here on Rival Esports. They took home $300. They're definitely going to be trying to better themselves this time because Dignitas took them down last time. No Dignitas this month, so they are in for a treat. We're in for a treat as the players are onto the pitch. Stacks, dude, take it away.
All right, it is Explosive Gyro, Austin, and T. Carell for the ever-popular Zaboomafoo squad, trying to spring what I'm guessing, we didn't really get predictions from Digital or myself, but I would think Digital might agree this would be an upset if they are able to take down Lights Out. Nomad looking for the opening goal, and he's got it with the double touch 15 seconds in.
This is how you open an evening. Nomad with the double touch drop. Oh, Stacks, this is only a taster near enough because these lads were popping off on Friday night with this, and now they're looking to just continue on in good form into this evening.
Yeah, defend that. Good luck. Austin's missed here. It's an open net. If Flash can get there in time, but T. Carell does rotate back. Look like Lights Out just a little slow to capitalize on what really was a gift given to them by Zaboomafoo. Big challenge there, though, by Explosive Gyro. Able to keep this in the zone, and now the attack for Zaboomafoo. Not imperative that they score here, but it's certainly the longer they go, having given up that very early goal, the more frustrating it's going to be, and that's Austin, who just blows a fastball right by the defense, and we're all tied up.
Good movement about the pitch, this one, and Gyro, nice little lofted pass into center. Austin then just finishing off with all the power in the world, basically hitting it and saying, try and defend that.
Might as well have not even played the first 45 seconds. We're right back to square one. Early chance for Lights Out. Aeon's shot goes well wide, however. It'll be Gyro looking for T. Carell. Kind of delayed for a moment, and Nomad did not bite on the fake, and it goes back the other way from Aeon. The idea was there for Zaboomafoo. It hasn't worked out, and all the defense can do here is watch this one from Nomad rain down into the goal.
Well, if you're going to give Nomad an opportunity, he's going to take it. The ball sent into the center, and that was hammered down to the corner. A maximum amount of position there coming out from Nomad. This lad already with 2 goals to his name this evening.
Yeah, T. Carell might have been thrown off there. It did look like it had a blue trail coming off it, so it could have actually gone off of the defender and in. So maybe an unfortunate break for Zaboomafoo. Lights Out, they won't complain. They're back in front. Laz at least keeps this in the zone. Aeon gonna go up for it, but T. Carell, aggressive challenge, has it back the other way. They get the demo, drop pass for T. Carell, and it's Laz who flies in at the last moment for the save, and now trying to start the counterattack, and Gyro is having none of it.
Gyro's getting hungry of those demos. He's just want to remove players from the pitch. And it's just going to be a case here where those demos weren't really that important. You saw Laz just near enough being that last man defender. If you can remove that goalie, that's when those demos are going to really start creating openings.
There's a miss from Laz. He is human after all. T. Carell will just bomb one away, and that's going to give Zaboomafoo a chance to get reset on boost. They're not really going to stay in the zone for very long. It's another clear back the other way. But now Gyro, he'll give away to T. Carell. Pass in front to Nomad, who snipes the corner. Couldn't have placed it any better.
This was a brilliant build-up. Laz, with that massive clear we saw earlier, bought time for the rest of Lights Out to move forward, and then Nomad picking it up in the center. This lad getting a hat-trick within the first half of the game is absolutely nuts.
So now another chance to improve their lead. And it's going to be blocked by Austin. Nomad is there, so is Aeon. They both come up empty. Austin now has left that for T. Carell, but didn't get that off the angle in the corner like you might have been looking for. Relatively simple clearance from Lights Out. They don't need any more goals, but they're certainly not going to rest on a 2-goal lead. But Ticarel, another quality stop. Ticarel's defense might be about all that's keeping them in this game. Austin's going to bang one through, though, and it's back to a 1-goal game.
Yeah, you're talking about Ticarel's defense, but what about Gyro's passing plays? That's 2 now, setting up Austin, who can just hammer that. And they're 132 kilometers per hour. Stacks, how fast was that in miles per hour?
Don't actually have it.
You didn't look at it. Oh, damn it.
I've got kilometers per hour. I am not one of those arrogant Americans who feels like we have to do everything our own special way. I am a kilometers per hour guy all the way. Nomad's going to miss this. And hey, Zaboomafoo has got this back within a goal. We talked about, Ticarel barely making a save there.
Well, did you see Laz there just squaring up with Gyro? They were in each other's faces, sort of trying to play that sort of game of chicken against each other. I love it when that happens.
Well, this could be trouble here. Ticarel off the corner. That's Nomad who's got the clearance, though. This Zaboomafoo team, they are not going away at all. And we've talked so much about Lights Out and how important this is for them. Hey, Zaboomafoo is a team that was right there near the end of the play-in bracket as well for the rival series. They're a team that there were people that thought this team could make it, and now having Explosive Gyro on their team, why not? Here's Ticarel looking for a flip reset perhaps, couldn't dunk that through, but it does keep the pressure on. Zaboomafoo not going away. Aeon not able to quite clear this away, but Nomad will, and that is a huge clearance for Lights Out.
Lights Out there actually looking quite comfortable with all that pressure on. The problem was that Zaboomafoo, they just weren't putting the speed on their shots. Oh, Gyro nearly forcing it on through though. Nomad getting that up into the air. And Stacks here, what we're just seeing is these shots just near enough being a little too slow from Zaboomafoo. You can see that their 2 goals have come from Austin receiving a pass and then just absolutely smacking the living daylights out of it. And Lights Out can't handle that sort of change up in pace.
Well, right now, Zaboomafoo out shooting Lights Out by a 2-1 margin. It's 8-4 in favor of Zaboomafoo, but the goal count is what matters. They need 1 more within the next 12 seconds. But first, they need to get on the other side of the field. Only 8 seconds to do so. Austin, he's got Gyro downfield, but the pass too far, and Nomad intercepts. Clock is at 0. All Lights Out needs to do is kill it off. The Explosive Gyro shot goes high. Ticarel's got a half flip to get back. It's not dead just yet. Gyro now just banging it off the backboard, and Ticarel can't keep it up. So Lights Out, they hold off that last second charge, and they take game 1.
Yep, game 1 going to Lights Out, not for a lack of trying there from Zaboomafoo. Gyro's just going to quickly hop off for a restart. Now, Stacks, a player on the pickup here, Ticarel. Now, you're looking there. He didn't get any goals. He didn't get any assists. But he's just playing that sort of middleman to this game, just near enough passing that ball around pitch and then getting back into the fence. He's being that typical third. And another thing I want to point about him, he's been one of these players that have been on the cusp for a while, and he's been searching for these new teams. He's definitely been active in these community tournaments. And now I'm feeling he has found his match. Austin and Gyro been fantastic with him here. The only problem is they've got to go up against Lights Out in the first round, and that is a tough opponent.
Yeah, it's a tough draw for anybody, and in this case for Zaboomafoo. What's great about Ticarel, though, like you mentioned, he's a player that he definitely has been on the upswing. When he really burst onto the scene in these community tournaments, it was a lot of times in ones tournaments, and it's such a difficult transition to go from being a ones player to having to play this threes style. It's such a different game, and I think he's managed that transition beautifully.
Well, another transition as well. Like you said, he ones player. He was normally that more aggressive player, just speeding around the pitch. In this last game, he's been a lot more reserved, letting his 2 teammates doing the more showboaty stuff of getting the goals and the fancy passing plays. He's having to hold himself back so that his 2 teammates can shine through, and that shows a lot of maturity in a player.
Yeah, and more you're going to see some of these primarily ones players making that foray into threes competition. Someone like Scrub Killer is one of the most talented players, now able to play in the RLCS. First Killer, his time will come soon enough. But right now, it's all about these players here. Laz setting up Aeon, but the shot's just wide. Laz hanging back. His drive's right at Austin. And we are underway in game 2. Lights out, trying to go one win away from reaching the second round and a date with Ghost Gaming. Meanwhile, on the Zaboomafoo side, looking to avoid that 0-2 deficit, give themselves just a little bit of breathing room going into game 3. T. Carell off the backboard. He'll follow it himself. Oh. There's a flashy enough play to start things off.
Hey, he must have heard us. Stacks must have been there like, oh, I'm not being flashy enough. Well, how about a little bit of this with the drop, beating out 2 defenders. T. Carell showing that he's not as reserved as we might think.
Yeah, not to be outdone by the double touch goal that started things off 15 seconds into game 1. Now with the first strike coming from T. Carell. I think it's going to be a fun matchup to watch. See who can maybe outstyle the other, because it really could come down to a game of mechanics here between Zaboomafoo and Lights Out.
It could also come down to a game 5 here, Stacks. I'm definitely feeling it. These guys are going to keep squaring off.
No complaints here at all if we go the distance in our opening match of the Spring Open Finals. Everybody comes up empty. It'll be T. Carell. He's just going to pop one up for Gyro. He's got Austin streaking downfield. Not going to get there, though. The pass just hung up there for Aeon to deflect away. And now Nomad's going to try to get onto this, but Austin should have it, and he does. It's off the backboard. Aeon misses, but T. Carell can't get around on the shot.
Yeah, massive pre-jump there from T. Carell. Pressure still going. T. Carell not going to be able to get that well positioned on that back post by Aeon, but no, he's left the ball in midfield. Gyro picking that up. Simple little mistakes are really going to cost both these teams because they're just so killer. They see the opportunity and they will strike.
Laz with a fake and T. Carell not buying into it at all. Back the other way, only as far as Aeon. Coming up on halftime in game 2. Austin gets this one by, but nobody else is there. Gyro just too close to get around on a shot. So it'll be Aeon for Nomad and Lights Out, doing what we've seen them do for the better part of half a year now, using quality passing to get out of the defensive end. So many times, Bacon, you see a team just bomb it away when they get under pressure, but Lights Out, they really have committed to using teammates to get downfield.
Like I said, bombing it away is good for the defense because it near enough removes it from your half and you've got that little bit of time. But the problem is, when you send it away, you're handing it to your opponents. Passing plays like that means it's still under your control. This is what I'm saying. Those little mistakes is what hurts them because then their opponents have just caught them out and they're not expecting it because they've got so much trust with each other, this Lights Out squad, and it leads into such a powerful attack. This shot comes off from Laz.
It'll be Austin now, just off the side for T. Carell. Looking for the backboard, but only finding a demo at the hands of Laz. Aeon's missed this, though. Gyro, can he turn on it? He does, but Austin's got to turn back to go get boost, and that's where the attack dies for Zaboomafoo. They have to be content with still only a 1-goal lead, and now pressure on the other side of the field. Aeon needs a quick turn. He turned a little too slowly. Austin looking for T. Carell or his teammate Gyro, not able to find either, and they have to reset.
Zaboomafoo so far in this game have been really respectful of their opponents. You can see it. They're going back into that defense because they know if they don't have 2 players there, that Lights Out are going to be able to pass around them. And that is why it's feeling so much more into the Zaboomafoo half, in that maybe you can see it Lights Out and you're just there thinking, it's about time they're going to get a goal.
Austin, the only one there who had boost, and he's got to keep that boost now. T. Carell has it, and he's going to have to be the one who makes this clear. No, it's going to be Gyro. Forces that one through to try and get out of the zone, but he's on 0. Austin now sitting in front of the net. He's at 0 as well. Lights Out. They've got the boost starve on right now, really putting the clamps down on Zaboomafoo, but they haven't found the goal they need just yet. 30 seconds to go. That shot's blocked by 2 defenders, Austin and Gyro. Laz with Gyro just trying to ride up his tailpipe. Could not knock him off the ball, though. Now Nomad. Back in it goes with 15. That'll waterfall down, and Aeon couldn't find the angle. Rebound is right between the eyes, and Laz has tied the game.
So Lights Out was completely played with the closing down with Zaboomafoo, and then whenever they were putting shots, they was just going straight to their opponents. They weren't placing them very well, and then finally, Laz gets a shot off, sends it up into the top right, well away from his opponents. That was nearly a cheeky little move in the kickoff.
Only 7 seconds remain before we go to overtime, but somebody's got to get there, and it's Laz. Now Nomad, one last chance for lights out, perhaps. I think they're content to send this to OT, and they do. It will be golden goal to determine game 2.
Yep, game 2, and this is really going to be showing a game of grit. Because if Lights Out get this, that's going to be a lot of momentum for them. That's 2 in a row, and Zaboomafoo want to tie us up and effectively take it down to a best of 3.
Gyro looking for Austin, but he's going to find Aeon instead. He's trying to boost down a little bit so he could get to that corner boost, and he does. And he also tries to slow play a little bit on his way downfield. Might have sensed a pre-jump on the Zaboomafoo side. Back in it goes, though. That slow play hasn't worked out for Lights Out. Austin, he'll have the advantage here. T. Carell is up as well, but it's going to be Gyro who needs to come up from the back ranks. T. Carell just off the backboard and sent away by Nomad. Clutch touch there as Lights Out avoid a lot of pressure on the part of Zaboomafoo.
You can see as well, Lights Out were getting a little bit antsy going for those predicts and those very early pre-jumps. They've got to be careful of that because that will be what Zaboomafoo wants. But the dribble play from Aeon blocked out by Austin.
And now they've got to scramble back because this Zaboomafoo team can move quick. And it's Nomad who comes up at the midfield line and just swats this deep into the corner. More pressure from Lights Out. Aeon, Laz. And nobody's going to have this. It'll be Austin. On target. No, just off the mark. Nomad had the read and does deflect this away just barely. I mean, nobody's really had a quality opportunity. This is the best one. And Laz's shot blocked way out in front by Gyro. I mean, you're seeing guys flying up from way deep in their own zone, making sure they get that midfield possession. But it's just turned into a giant game of volleyball.
Hey, we're just waiting for an opening here. Both these teams know that it's a 1 goal to win, so they're being very careful, Stacks. That's why they're just hitting it, going for those long passes. Talk about that. There's Carell, one in the dunk.
Yeah, he had that double touch goal to start things off. Now Gyro the only defender and wisely kicks that off to the side rather than just trying to go right down the middle. Oh, what a touch there from, I believe it was Nomad, trying to redirect that on target. Gyro doesn't have any boost. Aeon's picked up on it. Now Laz with plenty in the tank, but he could not get that down to a teammate. It'll be T. Carell. Who else? Looking for a teammate and finding none. They were both there, but he just could not get that ball around to the center.
Yeah, and you saw T. Carell as well after his play try and bump out the goalie. The problem was his 2 teammates weren't there to make it work. It was a cheeky little demo from Aeon. I didn't realize he had the speed to do that.
You know, one thing that's great about this Zaboomafoo team, we saw in game 1 they did have some double commits. We're seeing guys jump up and then just kind of make that quick backflip to get out of the way. That's a sign that they're communicating on defense, right? Somebody's calling the other off, saying, no, I've got this. Nobody's calling the fact that they're back, so nobody is. And Laz just scores a laugher 3 minutes into overtime.
Yeah, we saw that demo come out there. I'm just trying to think who it was on. It was on to Aeon. And the only logical reason for that error was that Zaboomafoo must have thought that was on one of their own guys, so they were going up to attack, thinking there's going to be a defender back, but that was just a massive error from Zaboomafoo. And they had looked so good throughout the whole of that game.
Can we just talk about the 9 saves made by Austin that game?
That's a triple savior.
That is.
That's nuts. Like
that is amazing. 2 shots, no goal, no assist, and he had the most points in the lobby despite being on the losing team. Hey, that's what 9 saves would get for you.
Yeah, can we also look at just the difference in number of shots as well that lead to that number of saves?
Yeah.
That is 15 shots coming out from Lights Out onto Zaboomafoo. You can tell who was putting the hurt on, who was putting that pressure on. And Zaboomafoo, they were just like a sponge. They were soaking it up.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize the shots were that one-sided. Like, you could tell, Lights Out certainly had the pressure on, but you didn't sense it was that much. And, yeah, it just, Zaboomafoo, they would get the ball onto the offensive side, but they didn't get the ball in front like they needed to. That's what puts them in this position here. Down 2-0 in the series, and Lights Out get a ton of momentum with that overtime winner.
Well, going now on into game 3 with Lights Out being on match point. They're 1 win away from going and meeting up with Ghost for a nice steak dinner. Sure, it won't actually be that pleasant, as Ghost will want to be doing a sweep to them as well. All bouncing on around and stacks. This is really going to be a test of strength for Zaboomafoo.
Let's see what Laz has in store here. He's met by T. Carell and Friend. It'll be explosive gyro, dispossessed. Austin's got to scramble back. He thought that pass was intended for him, so it's especially difficult for him to get back, but he does, and he does just enough to keep Lights Out off the board early in game 3. We have had at least a goal, sometimes multiple, in the first minute of the first 2 games, but we get through the first minute here without a goal, and then some, as Austin's going to have to center this, but it should be cleared away by Lights Out, though that was dangerous in front from Nomad. T. Carell almost made him pay.
Nomad somehow, one after the other, he only does clutch saves. He doesn't do these normal big hits away. He just clutches it. There, look at that. He's going for the long shot. Nomad is on a whole different level today, Stan.
He really has been. He keeps this up, and Lights Out. I mean, they were going to be a tough out anyways. There's Gyro just barely making the save. Needs to flip again, and he does. To steal a turn from Hockey, standing on his head to make a couple of saves, and it's still scoreless here in game 3. Big time performance from Explosive Gyro early on.
Well, that's an opportunity there with the demo from Gyro. Fortunately, Zaboomafoo not being able to make it, and this is just feeling like Zaboomafoo's not taking their chances stacks. They're a little too slow to react to them.
Aeon now over 1, but not over 2. Austin there with a good backup. Now Aeon takes out T. Carell. Everybody's got to scramble back, and a blazing shot goes well wide. And Lights Out, I think they're going to want that one back, because they're going to feel like they really should have scored there, especially after the bump on T. Carell. I think that's really going to be the big test for Zaboomafoo. If Lights Out takes T. Carell out of the play, can they recover defensively? Can they stand up to all the pressure that Lights Out is going to bring to them? Here's Gyro off the corner. He's got T. Carell. And hey, forget the defense. T. Carell's got another banger for the lead.
This wasn't T. Carell. This was Gyro. Look at that. He was dropping down to ground with great control. Puts it in the corner, lining up the angle for T. Carell, who can just smack that away. That was the best car control I've seen in a while in an attacking position.
Here's Laz now in front, looking for Nomad, but who else? T. Carell there for the stop. And it looked like he was going to try to steal some boost. He finally did, but that's going to throw off the rotations just a little bit. And that subtle break in rotations could be costly. Good pass out in front, but Nomad realized he was beaten by 2. So he'll take his time here, looking for a pass across. He knew Laz was over there, but thought he was a lot closer. Now Aeon with 30 boost. Not enough to follow this play up, and it's bombed away again. With 100 seconds remaining, Lights Out find themselves again down late, needing a goal.
Yeah, those bombing it away, sending it all the way down to your opponent's corner is just safe for you to regain some boost. Try and get those canisters filled. Zaboomafoo as well taking nice action here to get onto the attack. The problem is they're still a little bit shaky there.
It's Gyro now to the back wall. Laz will clear it away, but this is a Zaboomafoo team. I don't think they're in much of a rush to keep that pressure on. They have the lead. That's enough for them. Aeon with a save. That was headed just under the crossbar. Austin wins this race, but it'll be Laz now to clear it away after the shot's barely off the mark with a minute to go. Gyro leaves that for Carell. Gyro again. That's going to be up at that angle. It actually goes right by Nomad, and he's there for the challenge that at least keeps Lights Out still alive in this game.
Yeah, once again, Zaboomafoo just a little bit too slow to respond. Nice block there by Laz. But you could see it, Gyro going in for that demo as well, and Austin was just so slow to approach the ball. He wasn't far enough upfield. That second defender was able to come on in and stop that out. This is a better game from Zaboomafoo, though. They're really holding on to that defense and moving the ball downfield to create some pressure themselves. They're not taking all the pressure this game.
They are getting outshot again, 10-6, but the number that matters is up near the timer, ticking down auspiciously for lights out. 1 second remains. Aeon's got the shot off, but T-Carell will clear it away. Nobody's going to get there, and Zaboomafoo will not be swept here in the first round.
No, Zaboomafoo are back into it. They just got to do a reverse sweep, and Stacks just saying, oh, it's only a reverse sweep to do. Oof, that's a lot harder than just saying it, isn't it?
Right, yeah. All you have to do is beat lights out 3 times in a row, and if you don't, your entire spring open is done. No big deal. But these guys are grown-ups. Most of them, they can handle it. It's fine. I could do it. I won 3 games in a row last night to get to champ. Why can't these guys win 3 in a row? It's easy.
Yeah, it's just lights out you're going against. That's no one important, right?
Yeah, as a champion-level Rocket League player, I can attest winning 3 games in a row is easy. Watch. Zaboomafoo can do it. Watch this. Here we go. Opening kickoff. They're going to get a kickoff goal. Well, it would have been great if Gyro shot was on target, but it was not. And we are off and running. Laz gets over Austin, and it looked like he was just off the mark trying to flick one over Gyro as well. So now Austin has that skied up. He'll follow it himself. Leaves it for T-Carell. But the challenge there from the lights out defense keeps us scoreless in the first 30 seconds. We'll see if there is an early goal. It took a while for somebody to get on the board in that last game. Maybe a sign that both these teams becoming that much more familiar with each other. Laz's shots off the post, follow up from Nomad, and it is in the first minute that lights out scores first.
This is like back to early Rocket League days. Just hit it off beside the goal to make the defenders jump out at it, and then put it away. It's not olden, Stacks, it's golden.
So it takes 39 seconds. For those keeping track, it's been, I believe, 15, 45, and 39 seconds in 3 of the 4 games that we've had a goal in the first minute. T-Carell waiting very patiently. He got taken out by his teammate, and the lead is 2.
Lead is indeed 2. Lights out in the last game, not being able to make anything work for them, and now they've been granted a second goal. They're going to be counting their lucky stars as once again, Nomad is just being that guy on attack. He's being that striker, getting all those goals.
Austin is not going to have a look at this because Aeon is quickly there off the kickoff. And now more opportunities for lights out, already leading 2-0. In another closeout opportunity, but this one could be a shootout. T-Carell is on the board for Zaboomafoo.
So, just thinking about what happened here is just a misread from Aeon. It just shows this is why you need that third man quite a little bit back in defense. I don't know why, Stacks, that lights out was so pushed up forward after that kickoff because, they've got those 2 goals. They should, realistically, most teams would just go into the defense and then try and just hold on to a lead at this point, wouldn't they?
Well, it's something they say in American football. The only thing the prevent defense has ever prevented is winning. So I think the thought process is they want to add to their total, but Aeon runs on Duncan and just forces this through.
Oh, this is how you come back after a mistake. Aeon there letting a goal in, and here he's going to force a goal in, absolutely making the defender look silly. 3-1 now in favor of lights out.
90 seconds have gone by. It's got to feel like an eternity right now for Zaboomafoo. They did get that early goal, but they've given up 2 others. Now Gyro has that one deflected. Needs this as well. It does kick to the middle, but T-Carell should have it. Took his time, though. Looking for a pinch. But here comes lights out again. Boy, they just don't go away, do they? Aeon got the flip reset by landing on the ball, but it is cleared away by Zaboomafoo. Now you can start to sense that lights out, they're feeling it a little bit. They're going for some of those more flashy plays. Just the confidence coming out of lights out right now. That may be too much for Zaboomafoo to contend with.
it just really shows what the mental game of Rocket League does for you. If you're just in a good mood, you've got that confidence, you play so much better. It's a bit like if you're playing ranked, don't worry about the wins, just have fun, because you're going to feel so much better, you're going to feel positive. And that is definitely what Lights Out are doing here. They're now switched on to this game and they are loving it.
That's Gyro now. T. Carell's got to have this. He's taken out of the play as well. Austin can't clear it around the corner, but T. Carell does recover and dumps that into the corner. That's really where you're seeing more and more teams are trying to dump that off into the corner, because if another player's coming in, it's a difficult angle for them to try and get another shot on. But right now, Lights Out, they look like they can score from just about any angle, and Nomad does just that. He's got a hattie.
Yeah, Nomad picking up a hat trick, and this was a great pass to the backboard for himself, and then that control with the boost. This is why you don't use your boost, all of your boost going into attack. Not only is it good so you can retreat back to your defense, but then you can get a nice cheeky little follow-up goal. Lights Out, after losing the game, are just looking dominating in game 4.
Aeon and T. Carell. T. Carell just didn't read that ball very well. It'll be Nomad. Needs that second touch, doesn't have it. It's a chance now for Zaboomafoo with the defensive Lights Out. Pretty conservative defense. They're not really all that worried at this point. They don't need to be super aggressive. A 3-goal lead has all of the pressure on the shoulders of Zaboomafoo. Their tournament lives on the line here with less than a minute and a half remaining. That pass over to Nomad. Maybe could have looked over towards Laz, was feeling it himself though, decided to take the shot. Now Aeon, that's off the backboard and only cleared away as far as Laz. They cannot cross that center line, can Zaboomafoo. It just keeps coming right back into the blue side. And if this keeps up, Lights Out will be cruising their way into the quarterfinals at a shot at Ghost Gaming.
Well, 1 minute remaining just popped up on our screens, and it pops up on the player screens as well. The Zaboomafoo are now going to really feel the pressure. We could see them panic. This is do or die for them, and Stacks, this is looking good with T. Carell being able to pick up a fantastic downfield pass.
Well, it's exactly what they needed, and I really get the sense that Zaboomafoo's plan is going to be get the ball to T. Carell and get out of the way. They're going to go as far as he can take them here in these final 39 seconds. We'll see if Lights Out adjusts. Nomad will win this all the way downfield. Looking for Laz as well to finish the play, and all Austin could do was watch and hope that that ball did not end up in the net. It did not, but again, only 25 seconds remaining. They've got to move downfield, and they've got to do it very quickly.
Yeah, and just hitting it into a wall, hoping to get it to center for a teammate is not the way to do that. As Aeon picked it up, you can see these lads from Lights Out are just going to keep that pressure going, and this is like an uphill climb for Zaboomafoo, and they don't have the legs. They skip leg day.
They did indeed, and they will be skipping out of the Spring Open. It is Lights Out. They didn't do it on their first attempt, but the second closeout opportunity they take advantage of, and Lights Out moves on into the quarterfinals of the Spring Open.
Yep, and up to against none other than Ghost Gaming. That's going to be a tough game for them. Zaboomafoo, they played really well, but like we said, really well's not enough to cut it here. We've got teams of amazing caliber, and so you've got to do better than really well. You've got to do outstanding, and that's really the difference between getting, graded as a B or an A on your test, and Zaboomafoo unfortunately got a B on that one.
Well, we do have two other results that have gone final here so far. Splice with a 3-0 sweep over 3 noobs playing threes. That would be the usual team that we now have confirmation is staying together. Karma, J-Wiz, and Dude with the Nose. They will move on to take on G2 Esports. Yeah, out of the frying pan and into the fire. And the Speed of Light team, wow. I only saw FlyQuest the entire Rival Series. Oreo Titan, Walidos, Perma, they have moved on as well. They get a 3-1 win over Seoul Esports. They do take on FlyQuest in the quarterfinals.
Oh, and Stacks, I'm just going to quickly say it on out. We've got an upset here. Jimmers being defeated by Merlin, the first seed from Friday night's qualifiers getting defeated by the 8th seed. That is first losing to last, essentially. Toriko, Ralph, and E-Tech are going on through, and they've got to go up against Allegiance. So that's somehow, like, the first seed, or the 5th seed, essentially, in this whole tournament, has just been knocked on out. And Merlin, they look like they could have a good run this season.
They do, and the dream is still alive, potentially, to see Taroko go up against his Mirage teammate in Walidos. It's a tall road for both of them because they would have to meet in the grand finals of all of this, and there's a lot to go through along the way. But that is something that could happen. Maybe there's maybe just a little friendly competition there between those two to see who can last longer here in the Spring Open.
Well, we've got to head on over to a break to get the next game sorted, set on up. We're going to be seeing Allegiance go up against Merlin. Stacks, I'm super excited for this one.
I pledge allegiance.
Guys, don't go anywhere unless it is to go get yourself a refill on your drink, because you're going to need it for the next game, which I'm sure is going to be a nail-biter. Allegiance versus Merlin up after this break.